My name is Nathaniel, and welcome back to the SleepStory Collective. I am very glad you are here tonight. You have arrived at the soft edge of the day, where nothing more is being asked of you, and nothing needs to be solved before you rest. Whether you are listening from somewhere bright or dark, somewhere warm or cold, somewhere busy or already still, you are welcome here. Tonight can meet you exactly as you are. You do not need to feel perfectly calm before you begin. You do not need to have your thoughts neatly folded away. You do not need to be ready in any impressive way. You only need to be here, listening as much or as little as you like, while the story does the gentle work around you. There are days that leave small things clinging to us. A conversation we replay, a list we did not finish, a decision we have carried for too long, a little tiredness in the eyes, a quiet heaviness in the shoulders, a sense that we have been useful to many people, but not especially tender with ourselves. If that is the kind of day you have had, then let this be the place where you begin to set it down. Not all at once, not with effort, just one little piece at a time, like taking off a coat at the door, like placing a bag beside a chair, like letting an umbrella rest open in a warm room after rain. And if this kind of story ever reaches someone on a night when they truly need it, that is often because another listener left a quiet sign behind, a like or a kind word, and helped it travel gently onward. Now, let your body begin to notice that it is allowed to stop. Let your forehead soften. Let the small muscles around your eyes become less busy. Let your jaw loosen, even if only a little. There is no need to hold your face in the shape of the day anymore. Let the tongue rest. Let the throat be easy. Let the shoulders lower by one small measure. Not forced, not pressed, just permitted. Take a slow breath in and let it leave gently. Take another breath in as though the air itself has become softer, and let it go. One more breath, quiet and unhurried. And as you breathe out, let the day begin to blur at its edges. Imagine now the sound of rain on a high station roof. Not a storm, not harsh weather, only steady evening rain, tapping and pattering on glass, iron, slate, and old beams above a quiet platform. The trains have finished for the night. The loud announcements have fallen silent. The rush of footsteps has faded. The ticket hall is empty. The little station clock still keeps its patient time, and under one warm lamp, behind a frosted glass door, there is a small office where the lost umbrellas are brought in from the rain. Some are black and practical. Some are striped. Some are bright as folded flowers. Some have curved wooden handles, smooth from many hands. Some are small enough for a child. Some are large enough to shelter two people walking close together. Each one has been left behind after a rainy day. On a train seat, beside a ticket machine, under a bench, leaning near the cafe counter, tucked by accident beside the platform gate. And now, in the quiet after closing, there is someone who cares for them, someone gentle, someone observant, someone who knows that lost things do not need to be rushed. They need warmth, they need order, they need a patient hand. Tonight's story is called The Woman Who Runs the Lost Umbrella Office. The Lost Umbrella Office sits at the far end of Platform 4, just beyond the old waiting room and before the narrow door marked Staff Only. By day, most people pass it without noticing. They are too busy checking the boards, searching pockets for tickets, lifting bags from the ground, or hurrying beneath the ribbed station roof while rain flickers silver beyond the glass. But at night, when the final train has sighed away down the wet tracks, the office becomes the warmest room in the station. A brass lamp glows in the window, a little radiator ticks beneath the sill, hooks line the walls in careful rows. Wooden racks stand ready beneath warm drying lights. On the desk, there is a green-shaded lamp, a thick ledger, a stack of brown paper tags, a pot of pencils, a coil of soft string, and a shallow dish where stray umbrella caps and loose ferrules are kept until they can be matched again. The room smells faintly of ring water, polished wood, clean cotton cloth, warm metal, and the comforting dryness that comes after damp things are properly tended. The woman who runs the Lost Umbrella Office arrives after the station has closed. She does not hurry. She never does. Her steps are quiet on the platform tiles. She wears a long navy coat with a neat collar, soft gloves tucked into one pocket, and flat shoes that make almost no sound as she walks beneath the lamps. Her hair is pinned back simply. Her face is calm, in the way of someone who has made a life out of careful work. Not grand work, not work that asks to be admired, but the sort of work that makes the world feel less careless, the sort of work people only notice when it has not been done. At the office door, she turns the key slowly. The lock gives a small, familiar click. She opens the door, steps inside, and switches on the low lamps one by one. First, the desk lamp, then the wall lamp by the ledger shelf, then the row of warm drying lights above the wooden racks. Outside, rain softly repeats itself on the roof. Inside, the room begins to glow. She hangs her coat on the back of the door. She rolls her sleeves just enough. She fills the kettle from the little sink in the corner. She places it on its base, and while the water begins to heat, she stands for a moment in the center of the room and listens. There is the rain above. There is the faint settling of the station at night. There is the tiny hum of the drying lamps. There is the soft room tone of an old building resting after a long day. The Lost Umbrella Office is never silent. It is quieter than silence. It has the kind of sound that makes the mind unclench. On the platform outside the office door, tonight's collection waits in a long wicker trolley. The station staff have brought the umbrellas here as they found them, each one placed carefully in the trolley, rather than dropped or bundled. The attendant pulls the trolley inside and closes the door against the deeper cool of the platform. There are 23 umbrellas tonight. 23 small stories of rain and haste, 23 little shelters separated from the hands that carried them. The attendant does not sigh at the number. She only smiles softly, as though 23 umbrellas are not a burden, but a roomful of small guests needing care. She takes the first one from the trolley, a plain black umbrella with a curved wooden handle, still damp, still smelling faintly of rain and pavement. She opens it slowly, checking the ribs, letting the dark canopy bloom beneath the warm lamp. A few drops fall onto the oilcloth mat. She gives the umbrella a gentle turn and rests it open in the first drying rack. Then she writes a tag. Black umbrella, curved wooden handle. Found under bench, platform 2. Evening service. She ties the tag to the handle with a neat bow of string. Not too tight, not too loose. Just enough. The second umbrella is small and green, with a silver button that opens stiffly at first. She presses it with her thumb, and the canopy lifts in a soft little rush of air. One spoke needs easing back into place. She takes a small tool from the drawer, no sharper than it needs to be, and guides the spoke back beneath its loop of fabric. There, all better. The green umbrella stands open beside the black one, smaller and brighter, its wet edges shining in the lamplight. Green folding umbrella, silver button. Found beside ticket machine, main hall. The tag is written, the string is tied, the umbrella is placed carefully. Outside, the rain continues, steady and patient. Inside, the office gathers rhythm. Open, check, dry, label, place. Open, check, dry, label, place. Nothing in the room is rushed. The attendant understands that tired minds are often soothed by repeated tasks. A thing lifted with care, a thing inspected, a thing named, a thing given its place. It is the opposite of the day's confusion, the opposite of searching, the opposite of losing track. Here, each umbrella is noticed fully. Each one is allowed to become itself again. The third umbrella has red and cream stripes. It is large, with a black handle shaped like a shepherd's crook. A theater umbrella, perhaps, or the kind someone might carry to a wedding in uncertain weather. A little ribbon is tied around the handle, damp but still neat. The attendant does not untie it. She only smooths the ribbon between finger and thumb and opens the umbrella slowly. The red and cream canopy spreads wide, catching the golden light like a circus tent made very calm. One drop rolls down from the tip and falls into the shallow tray beneath the rack. The attendant writes, large striped umbrella, red and cream, black curved handle, ribbon attached, found in rear carriage of the 8:42 arrival. She pauses after writing the time because times matter in lost property. A person may remember the train before they remember anything else. The hour, the platform, the place where they stood while rain tapped at the windows and the day came to an end. She closes the ledger for a moment and listens to the roof. In the old days, the station had a larger lost property room near the parcels office. It held suitcases, hats, gloves, books, spectacles, parcels, lunch tins, scarves, shopping bags, and sometimes a single shoe that no one could explain. But umbrellas were different. Umbrellas arrived in great numbers whenever the rain came. They leaned in heaps. They dripped on boxes. They tangled their handles together like small, awkward branches. So the station gave them their own room. At first, it was only a cupboard, then a closet with 2 racks. Then, as the years passed, it became this office at the end of platform 4, with lamps, ledgers, drying rails, and a woman who knew how to bring order to every damp and forgotten thing. Some people in the station called it the umbrella office. Some called it the rain room. Children, pressing their faces to the frosted glass, sometimes called it the forest of roofs. The attendant never minded any name, but in her ledger, written neatly on the first page of every new book, she called it the Lost Umbrella Office. And that was what it was. The kettle clicks off. She leaves the umbrellas for a moment and prepares tea. Not a strong tea, not a busy tea. A pale, gentle cup with a little milk placed on the right side of the desk, away from the ledger. She takes one careful sip. The warmth gathers in her hands. Then she returns to the trolley. The next umbrella is blue. Not navy, not sky blue. A deep, rainy blue, like the color of evening when street lamps begin to glow. Its handle is clear acrylic, with tiny bubbles trapped inside, as though a little piece of rain had been made solid. She opens it. There is no damage, only dampness, only the ordinary wear of being useful. Blue umbrella, clear handle with bubbles, found outside the cafe shutters. The attendant smiles at the handle. It catches the lamplight beautifully. She places it near the red and cream umbrella, and for a moment the drying rack looks almost festive, like a quiet celebration for no one in particular. Then comes a child's umbrella, yellow, with small white clouds printed across it. One of the clouds has been colored in with blue pen. Another has a tiny smiling face. The attendant opens it with extra care. Small umbrellas can be delicate. The canopy lifts, cheerful even in the late hour. The attendant sees a name written inside the strap, faded but legible. Maisie. She writes it in the ledger. Yellow child's umbrella. White clouds. Name inside strap. Maisie. Found beneath seats in waiting room. Then she writes a second tag, softer and smaller, because children's things often need a little gentleness in their return. She ties the tag to the handle, then places the little yellow umbrella beneath the warm lamp, where it glows like a small moon in rainy weather. There is something deeply comforting about rooms where lost things are cared for. Not because the things are valuable. Some are. Most are not. But because every object, once carried through the world, gathers a little meaning. An umbrella is not only fabric and ribs and handle. It is the thing someone reached for before leaving home. It is the shelter held over a shopping bag. It is the circle of dryness above a tired head. It is a small roof in the hand. And when it is left behind, it carries a quiet shape of absence. The attendant knows this. So she does not treat the umbrellas as clutter. She treats them as belongings, waiting to belong again. The station clock outside strikes 10 with a low, mellow note. Not loud, not startling, just enough to tell the empty platform that night has properly begun. The attendant records the time in the corner of the ledger. 10 o'clock, rain steady, 23 umbrellas received. She always notes the weather. It helps. On dry days, the umbrella office is almost still. On sudden rainy days, it fills quickly. On days when rain begins just as commuters are leaving work, the station loses more umbrellas than at any other time. People open them in the street, fold them on the train, tuck them beside their legs, then step out at their stop without them. Not because they are careless people, only because they are full people, full of errands, full of appointments, full of questions from children, full of messages, full of shopping lists, full of old worries and new worries, full of the weather. The attendant forgives all of this before anyone has even asked. She lifts another umbrella from the trolley. This one is tall and brown, with a carved handle in the shape of a duck's head. The duck looks mildly serious, as carved ducks often do. She turns it in her hand and checks the beak for chips. None. She opens the canopy, which is a dark brown plaid, lined inside with a soft pattern of tiny gold dots. It is a beautiful umbrella. Old, but well cared for. The attendant imagines the person who owns it noticing its absence tomorrow morning, patting the stand by the door, looking once behind a chair, then remembering, with a small feeling of relief, that the station has an office for such things. Brown plaid umbrella, carved duck handle, gold dot lining, found leaning by parcel lockers. She places it in a tall rack rather than the open drying rack because the canopy is nearly dry and the handle needs space. The duck looks out across the room, grave and companionable. The work continues. A navy umbrella with a missing strap. A transparent dome umbrella beaded with rain. A compact purple folding umbrella that springs open too quickly and makes the attendant laugh under her breath. A long black golf umbrella with a silver tip. A pale gray umbrella with a mother-of-pearl handle. A tartan umbrella with two ribs bent slightly inward. She handles each one with the same care. Not equal sameness, real care. The kind that notices what is needed. The navy umbrella needs a new strap, so she measures a length of black ribbon and stitches it in place with 3 neat passes of thread. The transparent dome umbrella needs wiping, because water spots on clear plastic can make it look cloudy. She uses a soft cloth, moving slowly from panel to panel until the lamp shines through it cleanly. The purple folding umbrella needs to be opened and closed twice, gently to settle its spring. The golf umbrella needs a tall hook by the door. The grey one needs nothing but drying. The tartan one needs its ribs coaxed into shape. Each small repair is quiet. Each quiet repair deepens the room. If you are beginning to feel the day grow a little more distant, I am glad. And if this station office is starting to feel like a place you could return to whenever the world has been too loud, subscribing to the SleepStory Collective means another calm room, another warm lamp, and another gentle story will be waiting for you. For now, though, there is only the rain on the roof, the soft hush of the lamps, and the next umbrella ready to be cared for. The next umbrella is unusual. It is not expensive, it is not ornate, but it is covered in small painted stars, silver on dark blue fabric, each one slightly different, as though painted by hand. The attendant opens it slowly. The stars appear one by one as the canopy widens. Some are smudged, some are bright, some are no more than little silver dots. A faint crease crosses one panel, but the frame is sound. She reads the inside strap. No name, only two initials, E.L. She writes them down. Dark blue umbrella, hand-painted silver stars, initials E.L. on strap, found in window seat of last northbound train. Then she sets it beneath the warm rack and watches the dampness slowly turn to sheen, then to softness, then to dry cloth. Beyond the office door, the station platform gleams with rain. The roof is high and arched, held by old iron ribs painted deep green. At night, the platform lamps hang in a row, warm and round, reflected in puddles along the edge where the rain has blown in. The tracks are dark and quiet. The signal at the far end glows red, not with warning, but with rest. No train is coming now. No one is hurrying. The benches sit empty. A folded newspaper has been left on one seat, already collected from the rain by the night porter and placed on the recycling shelf. The vending machine hums in the distance. A clock ticks. Somewhere, water travels slowly through a gutter. The whole station seems to be breathing out. The attendant opens the office door for a moment to let out the first layer of damp air. Cool platform air enters. Warm office air rolls out. The two meet gently at the threshold. She stands there with one hand on the doorframe, listening to rain moving over the glass roof far above. It is a particular station sound. Not the rain on leaves, not the rain on a cottage roof, not rain against a bedroom window. Rain on a station roof has space in it. It falls from the sky onto broad panes of glass, old metal gutters, high beams, signs, lamps, and the long shelter above the tracks. It echoes softly, then softens again. It feels public and private at the same time. A sound made for travelers and dreamers, for departures and returns, for people going somewhere and people finally allowed to stop. The attendant lets the sound fill the room for a few breaths. Then she closes the door again. There is a second trolley near the back wall. This one holds umbrellas that have already dried. Some were found yesterday, some last week, some have been waiting for longer. The attendant begins the evening return check. She takes the ledger from the shelf marked Awaiting Claim and opens it to a page with a pale blue ribbon. Here are the umbrellas whose owners have called or written. Here are the descriptions matched to memories. A red umbrella with a white handle left by a woman who had been carrying a birthday cake. A black compact umbrella with a brass button left by a man who remembered sitting near the guard's compartment. A green umbrella with 2 patches belonging to someone who described the patches exactly. A small pink umbrella with painted rabbits claimed by a grandmother who promised to bring the child in tomorrow. The attendant prepares each one for return. She does not simply hand them over. She makes sure they are ready, dry, folded, strapped, label visible, handle wiped, tip checked, canopy smooth. She begins with the red umbrella. It is dried beautifully. The fabric folds easily along its old creases. The white handle, once slightly marked by rainwater, has been cleaned with a damp cloth and dried with a softer one. The attendant wraps the tag around the handle. Claimed. Collection expected Friday morning. Then she places it in the front rack beneath the little sign that reads, Ready to return. There is no hurry in that sign, no pressure, only readiness. The umbrella is ready. The office is ready. The morning can come when it comes. The black compact umbrella is next. It folds with a satisfying sound. Click, smooth, wrap, fasten. The attendant checks that the brass button still works. It does. She polishes it with the corner of the cloth until it gives back a small point of light. Then she places it beside the red umbrella. The green one with 2 patches follows. The patches are mismatched. One is round and navy, one is square and brown. They make the umbrella look well-loved, a little like an old coat that has seen many winters and never complained. The attendant runs one finger over the stitching and finds it strong. She folds the umbrella and rests it in the rack. The pink umbrella with rabbits is still open in the drying stand. It needs another hour. Small umbrellas, like small people, sometimes need extra patience. At the desk, the attendant opens another ledger. This one is called the Long Waiting Book. It holds the umbrellas that have been in the office for months. Not abandoned exactly. The attendant does not like that word. Waiting is gentler and often truer. Sometimes people move away. Sometimes they forget for a long time and then remember suddenly. Sometimes an umbrella belongs to someone who no longer passes through the station, but who one day might. The office keeps things for as long as it can. The Long Waiting Book is full of careful entries. Black umbrella, silver handle, found after autumn rain. Blue floral umbrella, brass ring, found near east stairs. Small checked umbrella, cracked wooden handle, found in carriage 3. Clear dome umbrella, no markings, found beside newsstand. Yellow umbrella, painted sunflowers, found under ticket counter. Each entry has dates, details, repairs, notes. Sometimes, in a later hand, the best word of all, returned. The attendant turns to the shelf where the longest waiting umbrellas are stored.
They are not kept in gloom.
They stand upright in a tall oak rack beneath a warm lamp that stays on all night. The lamp is not bright. It is just enough to keep the corner from feeling forgotten. She takes out the blue floral umbrella. It has been here for 9 months. It is light blue, with small white flowers scattered across the canopy. The brass ring around the handle has darkened a little with time. The attendant polishes it once a week. Tonight is its night. She takes the cloth from the drawer, adds 1 drop of polish from a tiny bottle, and circles the brass ring slowly until it brightens. Not new, not pretending to be new, only cared for. The umbrella seems to lift slightly in her hand. She checks the ledger. No claim yet, no new note. Still waiting. She places it back beneath the lamp. There is no sadness in this, only patience. Sometimes, after midnight, when the station is very quiet, the attendant imagines that the umbrellas enjoy one another's company. The grand golf umbrellas at the back like to stand tall and dignified. The folding umbrellas, always more excitable, settle in small trays near the desk. The bright umbrellas make the dark ones look softer. The old umbrellas make the new ones feel less alone. The child's umbrellas bring a little morning into the room, even at night. Of course, she knows they are only umbrellas, but a gentle imagination harms nothing in a quiet office, especially on rainy nights, especially in rooms where lost things are being kept safe. The rain grows a little heavier, not wild, just fuller. It spreads over the station roof in a deep, comforting hush. The office windows blur. The lamps make amber shapes in the glass. The open umbrellas in the drying racks catch the light and shadow, each canopy glowing differently. Black becomes charcoal. Blue becomes ink. Green becomes moss. Yellow becomes honey. Red becomes warm brick. The transparent dome turns almost invisible except where raindrops cling to its edge. The striped umbrella makes soft bands of color across the wall. The room feels less like an office now and more like a small indoor weather of its own. A weather made safe. A weather with shelves. A weather with labels. A weather with tea cooling gently beside the ledger. The attendant moves to the drying racks and begins the first turn. Umbrellas dry best when shifted gently, not too often, not too little. She lifts the black one by its handle and rotates it a quarter turn. The drops along one edge slide down and fall into the tray. She rotates the green one, the yellow one, the red and cream one, the blue one with the clear handle, the star-painted one. Each turn is small. Each turn lets the warm air reach another fold. This too becomes a rhythm. Lift, turn, settle. Lift, turn, settle. Rain above, room below, warmth around. There is a map on the wall beside the desk. Not a grand map, only a framed plan of the station and the streets around it. The attendant uses it to mark where umbrellas are most often lost. A small pin at platform 2, several at the main ticket hall, a cluster near the cafe, a few by the east entrance where people often stop to shake rain from their coats before catching the train, one by the old photo booth, one by the flower stand, closed at night, its buckets empty and turned upside down. Tonight, she adds another pin by the parcel lockers for the brown plaid umbrella with the duck handle. Then she steps back and looks at the map. It is, in its own way, a map of distraction, a map of human fullness, a map of rainy days and almost remembered things. She does not judge any of it. She only records it. At 10:30, there is a soft knock on the office door. The attendant turns. The night porter stands outside, holding one more umbrella. He is an older man with kind eyes and a wool cap pulled low. He does not come in all the way because his coat is wet. "Found this by the south stairs," he says quietly. The attendant thanks him. He hands it over carefully, as though passing a sleeping bird. It is a white umbrella with tiny blue leaves printed across it. One rib is loose. The strap is frayed. The handle is plain but comfortable. A practical umbrella made pretty by someone's choice. The night porter nods towards the platform. "Rain's settled in," he says. "Yes," the attendant says. "A good night for this room." He smiles at that, because everyone who works at the station knows what she means. Then he goes back to his rounds, and his footsteps fade along the platform. The attendant closes the door and looks at the white umbrella. South stairs, tiny blue leaves, loose rib, frayed strap. She opens it slowly. The loose rib slips free at one corner, making the canopy sag slightly. This is not a difficult repair, but it asks for attention. She places the umbrella on the repair table, beneath the brightest of the warm lamps. Not a harsh light, only clear. She sits down, takes off the frayed strap, measures a new length of pale blue cotton tape, threads a needle. The thread passes through the fabric with a soft, steady motion. In, out, in, out. A small knot, a neat fastening. Then the rib. She guides it back through the stitched loop near the canopy edge. The first attempt does not hold. She does not become impatient. She tries again, more slowly. There. The rib sits correctly. The canopy lifts into its proper curve. White umbrella, tiny blue leaves, repaired rib, new pale blue strap, found by south stairs. There is a particular kind of peace in mending something simple. The mind does not have to stretch too far. The hands know where to go. The problem is small enough to be solved with patience. The result can be seen. A loose thing made secure, a frayed thing replaced, a sagging shape lifted. The attendant rests the repaired umbrella in the rack and watches it stand among the others. It does not look new, it looks helped, and sometimes that is better. On a shelf near the door, there are small cards printed with the station's lost property hours. The attendant keeps them in a wooden holder. People take them when they come looking for umbrellas. The cards say ordinary things. Office open from 7 until 11. Claims may be made with a description of the item. Unclaimed belongings are held according to station policy. But beneath those ordinary words, the attendant has placed a handwritten note in a small frame. Please do not be embarrassed. Rain makes everyone forgetful. This note is her own addition. No one has asked her to remove it. Many people smile when they see it. Some laugh with relief. Some look as though they might cry, not because of the umbrella, but because they have been quietly blaming themselves for one more small failure in a day already full of them. The attendant knows that feeling, so the note remains. She returns to the trolley. Only 5 umbrellas left. A silver one with a black handle, a dark green one with a broken tip, a pink folding umbrella with raindrops printed on the fabric, as though it had chosen to decorate itself with the weather. A very old black umbrella with a wooden shaft and no automatic button. And a clear dome umbrella with a small paper tag already tied to it by someone else. She begins with the silver one. It opens smoothly. The canopy is sleek and reflective, catching the lamplight in soft gray waves. No damage. Silver umbrella, black handle, found in carriage 6, late arrival. Into the drying rack. The dark green umbrella comes next. The broken tip is not serious. She opens the drawer marked spares and finds a small black replacement. She removes the cracked piece, cleans the end, fits the new tip, and presses it until it holds. Green umbrella. New tip fitted. Found by east entrance. Into the rack. The pink folding umbrella is damp but cheerful. It opens with a polite little pop. Pink folding umbrella. Raindrop pattern. Found on cafe chair. Into the rack. The old black umbrella requires both hands. It opens slowly, like a person rising carefully from a chair. The fabric is thick. The ribs are strong. The handle is worn smooth. There is dignity in it. Old black umbrella. Wooden shaft. Manual opening. Found beside newspaper stand. Into the tall rack. Then the clear dome umbrella with the paper tag. The attendant notices the tag before opening it. The handwriting is hurried but legible. For the umbrella office. Found on train after the rain. Thank you. She smiles. Someone has taken the trouble to bring it here properly. Someone who might have been tired. Someone who might have been rushing. Someone who could have left it for another person, but did not. A small kindness passed from unknown hand to unknown hand. The clear umbrella is clean and nearly dry. Inside the handle, tucked under the strap, is a tiny charm shaped like a silver moon. The attendant writes this down. Clear dome umbrella. Silver moon charm attached. Found on train after rain. Brought in with note. She places the note in the ledger pocket. Then she rests the umbrella in the rack, where the silver moon charm catches the lamplight and holds it. Now all 24 umbrellas have been received. 23 from the first trolley, 1 from the night porter. The attendant writes the final count. 24 umbrellas. Rain steady. Office warm. Drying begun. She caps her pencil. Takes another sip of tea.
It has cooled, but not unpleasantly.
Outside the station, the town is settling into night. Taxis hiss along wet roads. Windows glow above closed shops. People arrive home, shake rain from their sleeves, put keys in bowls, switch on lamps, and remember, or do not remember, what they have left behind. Somewhere, perhaps, a person is already looking at the empty space where their umbrella should be. Perhaps they are frowning. Perhaps they are tired. Perhaps they are saying, not another thing. But the umbrella is not gone into nothing. It is here, drying beneath a warm lamp, named in a ledger, waiting without blame. The attendant begins the folding of yesterday's umbrellas. These are fully dry now. A whole row of them stands ready along the back rack, open no longer, their canopies crisp and quiet. She takes the first and lets it close slowly. The fabric gathers itself. The ribs fold inward. The shape that was once a little roof becomes a narrow line again. She smooths the folds with the side of her hand. She wraps the strap. She fastens the button. Then she places it, handle up, in the return rack. The next one. Close, smooth, wrap, fasten, place. The next. Close, smooth, wrap, fasten, place. No one watching would call it remarkable. But if you were there, half asleep in the chair near the radiator, listening to rain and soft fabric, and the pencil moving now and then across the page, it might feel like the most restful thing in the world. The office has a chair for visitors. It sits near the radiator, beside a narrow table with an old station timetable under glass. The timetable is no longer accurate. It belongs to another decade. The attendant keeps it because the names of the places are beautiful. Meadowcross, Hawthorne Vale, East Larkford, Bellwater, Little Marlow Junction, Wrenbury. Some stations have closed. Some have changed names. Some trains no longer run. But on the old timetable, every destination still has its place. Every departure still belongs to an hour. Every arrival is expected. The attendant sometimes rests her hand on the glass as she passes. It reminds her that not everything lost is in distress. Some things are simply waiting in another kind of time. Near 11, the first batch of tonight's umbrellas is ready to be checked again. The black umbrella is nearly dry. The green one is dry at the edges, but damp near the seams. The red and cream striped one needs longer. Large umbrellas hold rain in their folds. The blue umbrella with the clear handle is drying well. The yellow child's umbrella is still damp in the little valleys between the ribs. The attendant lowers the lamp slightly over it. Not hotter, just closer. The stars on the dark blue umbrella have become clearer as the fabric dries. The silver paint catches at different points when she turns it. It looks, for one brief moment, like the night sky folded into a useful object. She touches one star gently and finds it dry. There is no need to know every owner tonight. That will come later, or it will not. The office does not force reunion. It simply keeps the possibility open. This is one of the things the attendant likes most about her work. It does not demand an ending by morning. It does not pretend every loss can be immediately restored. It only says, quietly and practically, "We will look after this. We will keep it dry. We will write down what we know. We will make room. And if someone comes looking, it will be here." The rain softens again. The station roof changes its song. The heavier patter becomes a fine ticking, spread wide across the glass. Drips fall at longer intervals from the gutter outside the office window. A train horn sounds far away, not from this station, perhaps from the freight line beyond the town. It is low and distant, and softened by weather. The attendant looks up for a moment. Then the sound passes. Stillness returns. The umbrellas stand in their racks, like a little gathering that has decided to be quiet. She takes the ledger and begins the notes for the morning staff. The red umbrella with the white handle should be at the front. The green patched umbrella must not be confused with the dark green one fitted with a new tip. The child's pink rabbit umbrella is still drying and should be left open until 9. The clear dome umbrella with the moon charm should be kept in the second rack, because charms can catch if placed too close to the tall hooks. The brown plaid umbrella with the duck handle should remain upright. The star-painted umbrella needs no repair. The white umbrella with blue leaves has been mended and should be checked again in morning light. She writes each instruction clearly. She knows that morning can be quick. People arrive with questions, phones ring, trains run, coffee spills, doors open and close. A clear note is a kindness to the next person. After the notes, she tidies the repair table. Needle into cushion, thread into tin, spare tips into drawer, cloth folded, polish capped, small tool returned to its slot, frayed strap placed in the scrap jar. The scrap jar is full of little pieces from other umbrellas, black straps, brown ribbons, clear plastic loops, a tiny torn piece of yellow fabric, a broken silver button. The attendant does not keep them forever, only until the jar is full. Then she sorts what can be reused and lets the rest go. Even in a room devoted to lost things, not everything must be held without end. Some things are repaired, some things are returned, some things are released. All three can be gentle. The office door opens again at 10 minutes past 11. This time it is the station cleaner, a woman in a gray cardigan beneath her work apron, carrying a folded umbrella under one arm. "I know you've counted," she says softly, "but this was tucked behind the plant by the old ticket window." The attendant smiles. "There is always one more." The cleaner laughs quietly and hands it over. It is a pale lavender umbrella, very small, with a wooden handle painted white. A pressed flower has been sealed into the handle beneath varnish. The attendant notices it at once, a tiny violet flattened and preserved. The cleaner notices her noticing. "Pretty, isn't it?" "Very," the attendant says. The cleaner glances at the racks of open umbrellas. "Looks like a little garden in here tonight. A very rainy garden." They both smile. Then the cleaner goes on with her work, pushing her cart softly along the platform. The attendant adds the lavender umbrella to the ledger. 25 umbrellas. Lavender, white wooden handle, pressed violet under varnish, found behind plant near old ticket window. She opens it. The canopy is almost dry, perhaps sheltered by the plant through much of the evening. There is one small mark near the edge. She wipes it. The mark lightens, then disappears. She sets the umbrella in the rack. Lavender beside yellow, stars beside stripes, clear beside plaid. The office is full now, but not crowded. Everything has its place. Everything has enough air around it. In the corner above the radiator, there is a small shelf of books. The attendant keeps them for waiting visitors, but rarely does anyone sit long enough to read. Still, the books remain. A guide to local walks, a book of poems about weather, a small history of the railway, a collection of pressed leaves from trees along the line, and a notebook filled with messages from people who have collected their lost umbrellas. Not everyone writes in it. Most simply say thank you and leave. But some people do write. The attendant opens the notebook sometimes when the night is quiet. Tonight, while the umbrellas dry, she takes it from the shelf. She opens to a page marked by a gray ribbon. "Thank you for keeping my mother's umbrella safe. She bought it before I was born." Another. "I thought I had lost this forever. I cannot tell you why that made me so sad, but thank you." Another. "The yellow cloud umbrella belongs to my daughter. She cried when she thought it was gone. She is very happy now." The attendant runs her hand lightly over the page. Then she closes the notebook and returns it to the shelf. The office is not grand. No one writes newspaper articles about it. No one walks through the station saying, "There is the place where small worries are softened." But that is what it is. A small room under the platform lamps. A place where rain is allowed to finish falling. A place where damp things become dry. A place where the forgotten are not scolded. A place where every handle, strap, button, spoke, tip, and canopy is treated as worthy of care. The attendant checks the radiator. Warm, not too hot. She checks the drying lights. Steady. She checks the window latch. Secure. She checks the floor mat. Wet, but not dangerously so. She hangs a second mat near the door to dry and places a fresh one beneath the racks. She empties the shallow tray of collected rainwater into the sink. The water glides away with a soft sound. Then she dries the tray and returns it beneath the red and cream umbrella. There is a kind of quiet luxury in clean usefulness. Not expensive luxury, not polished for display. A deeper kind. The luxury of things working as they should. A lamp where there should be a lamp. A dry mat under wet shoes. A label tied to a handle. A ledger that can be trusted.
A room that knows its purpose. At 11:30, the attendant turns the station radio down another notch. It is not playing music, only a soft room tone from the office receiver and the occasional quiet murmur from the night desk. She keeps it low enough that it becomes part of the room rather than an interruption. Rain above, room tone within, a small tick from the radiator, a distant drip from the platform gutter, the breath of the old station. This is the sound bed of the lost umbrella office. This is the sound that tells the body, you are indoors now. You are sheltered now. You can stop watching the weather. She walks slowly between the rows. Some umbrellas are ready to fold. Some are still open. Some have been repaired. Some are waiting to be claimed. Some will wait longer than others. This is all right. The attendant does not need everything finished tonight. She only needs everything cared for. She stops before the child's yellow umbrella and touches the edge of the canopy, almost dry. She imagines Maisie, whoever she is, reunited with her small yellow shelter. Perhaps tomorrow, perhaps the next day. The attendant does not know, but the umbrella will be ready. She turns next to the star-painted umbrella. It is fully dry now. She folds it carefully, matching the painted panels as neatly as she can. Because the stars were painted by hand, they do not align perfectly. That is part of their beauty. She wraps the strap around the folded canopy and fastens it. The initials EL rest just under her thumb. Dark blue umbrella, hand-painted stars, initials EL. Ready. She places it in the awaiting claim rack. For a moment, it looks like a closed piece of night. The lavender umbrella is dry enough to fold. The pressed violet in the handle looks even gentler now beneath the warm light. The attendant folds the canopy and turns the handle upward in the rack so the violet can be seen. Not displayed, only visible. Sometimes a detail helps someone recognize what is theirs from across the room. A handle, a scratch, a ribbon, a charm, a repair, a pressed flower under varnish. These small details are anchors. They say, yes, this is the one. They bring relief into the face before the person even speaks. The attendant has seen it many times. The little intake of breath, the softening of the mouth, the hand reaching forward. There you are. Midnight comes without announcement. The clock outside simply places both hands at 12. The station seems to deepen. Even the rain sounds more settled now, as though it has found its pace and intends to keep it until morning. The attendant dims the desk lamp slightly. The office glows lower. The umbrellas become rounder shapes in the warm dark. The ledgers rest closed. The pencil lies straight beside them. The teacup is empty. The trolley is empty. The room is full. And nothing is wrong. There is a softness that comes when everything that can be done has been done. Not everything in the world, not every problem, not every thought, only the things that belonged to this room tonight. The umbrellas were brought in, they were opened, they were dried, they were labeled. They were mended where they needed mending, they were placed where they needed placing. The morning notes were written, the racks were checked, the room was made ready. That is enough. Enough is a beautiful word when it is allowed to be true. The attendant sits in the visitor's chair for the first time that night. She does this only after the work is settled. She rests her hands in her lap and lets the room keep company with her. The radiator gives a soft click. Rain lays its fingers over the roof. Somewhere in the station, a pipe knocks once, then stills. The umbrellas wait around her, open and folded, tall and small, plain and bright. A quiet office of little shelters. A room of held rain. A room of careful returns. She thinks, not in words exactly, of all the people who passed through the station today. The woman with tired eyes carrying 2 shopping bags and a bunch of keys between her fingers. The man in the brown coat who checked his watch 3 times, then smiled when his train arrived. The grandmother holding the little pink rabbit umbrella for a child who wanted to jump in every puddle. The student with the star-painted umbrella, perhaps, leaning against the window and forgetting it when the train reached home. The person with the lavender umbrella and the pressed violet handle. The owner of the Sirius duck, the keeper of the clear moon charm. All of them moving through rain. All of them carrying private weather. All of them deserving gentleness.
After a while, she rises. There is still one last task. She takes a small cloth from the drawer and wipes the office counter from left to right. Then the desk. Then the edge of the ledger shelf. Then the windowsill. She wipes the little sign that says, "Lost Umbrella Office." She wipes the brass handle of the door. She wipes the visitor's table, moving carefully around the old timetable beneath glass. The room becomes not cleaner exactly, because it was already clean. It becomes finished. There is a difference. She switches off the brightest drying lamp. The umbrella's no longer needed. Then she leaves the lower lamps on. The station policy allows this. Umbrellas dry better in low, steady warmth. The office looks beautiful now. Not in the way that asks to be admired, in the way that makes the heart trust it. Warm racks, soft light, rain blurred on glass, labels hanging from handles, a ledger waiting for morning. The world outside still wet, the world inside dry enough. She puts on her coat. Slowly. She buttons it. She takes her gloves from the pocket, but does not put them on yet. She checks the kettle is off. She checks the drawers are closed. She checks the note for morning staff is visible. She places the claimed red umbrella and the black compact umbrella near the front, just as she wrote. Then she stands at the door and looks back. This is her favorite moment. The room after care has been given. The quiet after useful work. The little sense that lost things are no longer quite as lost as they were. She steps out onto platform 4 and locks the office door. The frosted glass catches the warm light behind it. Through the blur, the umbrellas are only shapes, soft domes, slim lines, a small indoor forest. The attendant slips the key into her pocket. The rain is still falling beyond the edge of the roof. The platform lamps glow over the wet tiles. The station clock reads 12:20. No trains, no passengers, no hurry. She walks along the platform, past the waiting room, past the closed cafe, past the benches shining faintly where the rain has blown in. At the main hall, she pauses by the lost property window and places a copy of the morning notes in the tray. Then she continues to the side entrance, where the night porter has left the door unlatched for her. Outside, the town smells of rain and stone. She opens her own umbrella, plain navy, well kept, a little worn at the handle. It opens cleanly above her with a soft, familiar sound. For a moment, she stands beneath it, listening to rain strike the canopy. A small roof in the hand, a circle of shelter. Then she steps out into the wet street and walks home. Behind her, the station rests. The platform rests. The ticket hall rests. The signs, the benches, the lamps, the tracks, the old clock, and the closed cafe all rest. And at the end of platform 4, behind the frosted glass door, the lost umbrella office rests too. Inside, the umbrellas dry beneath warm lamps. The yellow one with clouds, the blue one with the clear handle, the red and cream striped one, the brown plaid one with the duck handle, the white one with tiny blue leaves, the clear one with the moon charm, the lavender one with the pressed violet, the old black one with the wooden shaft, the star-painted one, folded now like a little piece of night. Each has been seen. Each has been named. Each has been given a place. And perhaps that is something the body can understand. That even after a day of being carried through weather, set down in the wrong place, forgotten in the rush, or left open to too much rain, there can still be a warm room. There can still be a patient hand. There can still be a lamp left on. There can still be a label that says, "Here. Here is where you are. Here is where you can rest. Here is where someone will look after you until morning." So let the station remain where it is. Let the rain keep touching the roof. Let the old clock keep its slow, faithful time. Let the umbrellas stand quietly in their racks. Let the attendant walk home beneath her navy canopy, knowing the room is in order. And let yourself be as you are. Nothing more needed. Nothing more proved. Nothing more carried for tonight. You can always find your way back here. Subscribing to the Sleep Story Collective keeps the door open to another quiet room, another soft light, and another story waiting when the day has been too much. For now, the rain is gentle. The station is closed. The lost things are safe. And you are allowed to sleep. Good night. Good night.